Bodhidharma sits facing the wall. His future successor stands in the snow and presents his severed arm to Bodhidharma. He cries, "My mind is not pacified. Master, pacify my mind." Bodhidharma says, "If you bring me that mind, I will pacify it for you." The successor says, "When I search my mind, I cannot hold it." Bodhidharma says, "Then your mind is pacified already." Mumon's comment: that broken-toothed old Hindu, Bodhidharma, came thousands of miles over the sea from India to China as if he had something wonderful. He's like raising waves without wind. After he remained years in China, he had only one disciple, and that one lost his arm and was deformed. Alas, ever since he has had brainless disciples. Why did Bodhidharma come to China? For years, monks have discussed this. All the troubles that have followed since came from that teacher and disciple. In the time of Buddha Shakyamuni, Manjushri went to the assemblage of the Buddhas. When he arrived there, the conference was over and each Buddha had returned to his own Buddha land. Only one girl was yet unmoved in deep meditation. Manjushri asked Buddha Shakyamuni how it was possible for this girl to reach this state, one which even he could not attain. "Bring her out from samadhi and ask her yourself," said the Buddha. Manjushri walked around the girl 3 times and snapped his fingers. She still remained in meditation. So by his miracle power, he transported her to a high heaven and tried his best to call her, but in vain. Buddha Shakyamuni said, even 100,000 Manjushris could not disturb her. But below this place, past 1,200 million countries, is a bodhisattva, Momyo, seed of delusion. If he comes here, she will awaken. No sooner had the Buddha spoken than that bodhisattva sprang up from the earth and bowed and paid homage to the Buddha. Buddha directed him to arouse the girl. The bodhisattva went in front of the girl and snapped his fingers, and in that instant, the girl came out of her deep meditation. Momon's comment: Old Shakyamuni set a very poor stage. I want to ask you, monks, if Manjushri, who is supposed to have been the teacher of 7 Buddhas, could not bring this girl out of meditation, how then could a bodhisattva who was a mere beginner? If you understand this intimately, you yourself can enter the great meditation while you are living in the world of delusion. One could not awaken her, the other could. Neither are good actors. One wears the mask of God, one a devil's mask. Had both failed, the drama still would be a comedy. Shuzan held out his short staff and said, if you call this a short staff, you oppose its reality. If you do not call it a short staff, you ignore the fact. Now what do you wish to call this? Mumon's comment: if you call this a short staff, you oppose its reality. If you do not call it a short staff, you ignore the fact. It cannot be expressed with words, and it cannot be expressed without words. Now say quickly what it is. Holding out the short staff, he gave an order of life or death. Positive and negative interwoven. Even Buddhas and patriarchs cannot escape this attack.
From last night's space on UFO on the U.S. Navy base crane, where
Basho said to his disciple, when you have a staff, I will give it to you.
Underneath
If you have no staff, I will take it away from you. Mumon's comment:
Well, that was weird.
when there is no bridge over the creek, the staff will help me.
So I couldn't understand.
When I return home on a moonless night, the staff will accompany me. But if you call this a staff...
Hey, what's up, Doc?
Hey, good afternoon. How you doing?
Good afternoon, man. Sorry I missed your call yesterday.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, it was bad timing. I would have definitely liked to speak with you. I'm glad we can catch up now. What's going on?
Just having a cup of coffee, trying to follow the money.
I know, right? You and me both. I'm doing my 2 hour Maha walk right now. I'm almost at hour two.
Nice. Are you stretching at all?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, because after you warm up with the cardio, now you got to do some hip rotations and hamstring pulls.
Yeah, I'll definitely do some stretches when I get back to my place. Um, so what'd you call me for? What's going on?
So I've been fundraising on Clubhouse. We've raised $510. We've got multiple Craigslist ads up in Rockford, Peoria, and Chicago trying to find campaign managers. And so I just wanted to chat with you to try to do an X Spaces money bomb for the campaign, and the campaign would compensate you as an influencer, and we can see how much money we raise.
Yeah, I'm interested in that. If you have like a day in mind, let me know, and we can schedule it in advance.
Yeah, and I think any day of the week works. I think maybe 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, Eastern or maybe Central, would be best. And then if we could create an actual event, and if you want, if I mean the campaign would pay you to do creative in the same way that you do in the past. So something maybe next week, maybe end of this week. I don't know, whatever your schedule, says.
Okay, yeah, let's get on it. I would love to.
Okay, great. Anybody else in the room who doesn't know me, my name is John. I live in Chicago. I'm running for Congress here in Illinois. And I know Augustus through Clubhouse. And did a lot of social audio spaces with Augustus with regards to politics, COVID-19 vaccines, and even UFOs.
So maybe this board of directors, we got Lisa Disbrow, John McGucci, Susan Gordon, William Jews, Ryan McCarthy, Scott Morrison, Philip Nolan, Deborah Plunkett, Stanton Slow, and Charles
You will enter hell like an arrow.
SZEWS.
With this staff in my hand, I can measure the depths and shallows of the world.
Might be something.
The staff supports the heavens and makes firm the earth. Everywhere it goes,
Yeah, they
the
sound
true
like made-up
teaching
things.
will be spread.
They look like made up people.
Hoen said, "The past and future Buddhas both are his servants." Who is he? Moon's comment. If you realize clearly who he is,
I didn't know
it
Jews
is
was
as
a
if you
female.
met your own father on a busy street. There's no need to.
So, yeah, Black, were you in this space last night about working with Ukraine?
Ask anyone whether or not your recognition is true.
Say what, brother? I think you got drawn up
Do not fight with another's bow
I
and
said,
arrow.
Black, were you in the big
Do not ride another's horse. Do not discuss another's faults.
Maybe about like
Do
40
not
minutes into
interfere
it, I think I
with
dropped it.
another's work.
Nice.
I'm finding so it looks like it's from about 1985, a bunch of
Seikiso asked, "How can
automated
you proceed on
like 38
the
millimeter
top of a
firing
100-foot
systems.
pole?"
Just on
Another
the
Zen
surface
teacher
level,
said,
not digging through shit, right?
"One who sits on the top of a 100-foot pole has attained a certain height, but still is not handling Zen freely. he should proceed on from there and appear with his whole body in the 10 parts of the
I was
world.
going to ask back if any of the names that I mentioned have popped up.
Muon's comment.
While you're looking at the bases of
One can continue his steps or
I'm
turn
not seeing
his
too
body
many
freely
names right
about
now.
on the top of the pole.
Like
In
it's
either case, he should be
looks like some
respected.
rescue things.
I want to
'Cause
ask you monks, however,
the name crane
how would
brings
you
up
proceed from the
like
top
the
of that
Navy
pole?
using cranes too. So I'm
Look
having to
out.
parse through a bunch of shit where it's looks like emergency
The man
services.
who
and
lacks the
Navy's
third eye of
and
insight
then a bunch of
will
weapons training.
cling to the measure of 100 feet.
Weapons training that looks pretty
Such a
advanced
man
for like
will
the
jump
Navy.
from there
I just
and
posted
kill
one up,
himself
Bill.
like a blind man misleading other blind men.
Wow.
Tosotsu built 3 barriers and made the monks pass through them. The first barrier is studying Zen. In studying Zen, the aim is to see one's own true nature. Now,
We're in Indiana. That whistleblowers have come forward saying that there was multiple technologies divisions at this location, and podcasters started to look into it. All of whom have been reprimanded by government entities that have said that it's a matter of national security for them not to continue to talk about this stuff on their podcasts. So naturally, I want to talk about it now. You know, so I did a big space about it last night, and the people who are in the know said to follow the money. So this is kind of like a follow-up space about that. So that's where we're at, investigating this, and yeah, it's truly fascinating.
Cool.
Yeah, as far as like a money bomb goes, to be honest with you, I've been having some difficulty getting a lot of people into an X space recently. It has to be like about a certain topic, and I need to have like certain influencers here with me in order to do it. But like if it's next week, I might be able to get some influencers in on it to help me and get people here. And the only thing is that I don't know if you got like a beef with them or not. Like Maze, don't you have like a beef with Maze?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so that's gonna be difficult, you know. I'll try my best to help.
You can ask her. I
But
mean,
I
even
don't know if we can raise any money.
you can ask Maze, even though we
Just
have
do
a.
it by myself.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, you can ask Maze because sometimes if you have a beef with somebody, those make the most interesting conversations. And I promise I'll be a total gentleman. So, yeah, I don't know. I know you're not using Clubhouse anymore, but for the past few weeks, Roger Mayhem, I don't know if you know Roger, but he goes by Mojo now on there. He's been doing money bombs for me in the campaign. And so we raised 510, and some of the biggest haters became contributors to the campaign. So that was, an interesting turn of events, and a lot of the racist bigots and low IQ morons on that app, have essentially started waging war against me, and they're supporting Darren LaHood, who I'm running against. They're creating houses, updating their PTRs. So it's like causing all kinds of chaos in Clubhouse. And unfortunately, some people have been getting doxxed. So Roger had to take a break from the app. I think he's worried about his security, or just like causing further tensions. So hopefully he will come back to the app because he is very knowledgeable of politics and organizing. But we have to get about 30 petition signatures every day leading up to October 27th. So I'm gonna have to on weekends go to other parts of Illinois, Rockford, Peoria, and Bloomington Normal to start gathering signatures. So all the money that we raise will go towards actually hiring people on the ground to get petitions so we can get on the March primary ballot. Um, but also, I mean, the topics that we could talk about, is the national debt. We could talk about the war in Ukraine, the war in Israel. We could talk about vaccines, and other topics. But anyways, I mean that if it's like an event that we could plan with a date and a flyer, a profile picture, campaign website, all that stuff, like it's, that type of communication. And if anybody lives here in Illinois, please hit me up, send me a message. I'd love to chat with you if you're available over the next couple weeks to maybe do some petition signatures.
Okay, thanks, man. Can you guys hear me still?
Yeah, boy, you sound good.
Nice. I just went in the elevator. Yeah, okay. Sounds good. Welcome to the stage, Tyler.
Hey Augustus, how you doing, man? Sorry I missed your space last night. Can you give like a minute and a half synopsis of what you found and what you're trying to do?
Yeah, we just seen that basically
Where is your true nature?
forward-facing
Secondly,
information
when one realizes
about
his own
what
true nature,
the base does is basically they're like, yeah, we do electromagnetic weapons, we
He
do
will be
direct
free
energy
from birth
weapons,
and death.
thermonuclear weapons.
now when you shut the light from your eyes and become a corpse, how can you free yourself? Thirdly, if you free yourself from birth and death, you should know where you are. Now your body separates into the four elements. Where are you? Mumon's comment: whoever can pass these three barriers will be a master wherever he stands. Whatever happens about him, he will turn into Zen. Otherwise, he will be living on poor food, and not even enough of that to satisfy himself. An instant realization sees endless time. Endless time is as one moment. When one comprehends the endless moment, he realizes the person who is seeing it. A Zen pupil asked Kenbo, all Buddhas of the 10 parts of the universe enter the one road of nirvana. Where does that road begin? Kenbo, raising his walking stick and drawing the figure 1 in the air, said, here it is. This pupil went to Umon and asked the same question. Umon, who happened to have a fan in his hand, said, this fan will reach to the 33rd heaven and hit the nose of the presiding deity there. It is like the dragon carp of the eastern sea, tipping over the rain cloud with his tail. Mumon's comment: one teacher enters the deep sea and scratches the earth and raises dust. The other goes to the mountain and raises waves that almost touch heaven. One holds, the other gives out. Each support the profound teaching with a single hand. Kenbo and Umon are like two riders, neither of whom can surpass the other. It is very difficult to find the perfect man.
I'm reading it real quick.
Frankly, neither of them know where the road starts. Before the first step is taken, the goal is reached.
Yeah, and if you go to her page,
Before
you'll
the
see
tongue
that
is
there's
moved,
like a bunch of
the speech is
posts
finished.
put up about it.
More than brilliant intuition is needed to find the origin of the right road.
And who are the whistleblowers? Do we have their names?
Yeah.
Anban, a Layman Zen student said, Mumon has just published 48 koans and called the book Gateless Gate. He criticizes the old patriarch's words and actions. I think he is very mischievous. He is like an old donut seller trying to catch a passerby to force his donuts down his mouth. The customer can neither swallow nor spit out the donuts, and this causes suffering. Mumon has annoyed everyone enough, so I think I shall add one more as a bargain. I wonder if he himself can eat this bargain. If he can and digest it well, it will be fine. But if not, he will have to put it back into the frying pan with his 48 also and cook them again. Mumon, you eat first before someone else does. Buddha, according to a sutra, once said, "Stop, stop, do not speak. The ultimate truth is not even to think."
Oh, he's in an elevator, okay.
Amban's comment. Where did that so-called teaching come from? How is it that one could not even think it? Suppose someone spoke about it, then what became of it? Buddha himself was a great chatterbox, and in this sutra spoke contrarily. Because of this, persons like Mumon appear afterwards in China and make useless donuts, annoying people. What shall we do after all? I will show you. Then Amban put his palms together, folded his hands, and said, "Stop, stop, do not speak. The ultimate truth is not even to think." And now I will make a little circle on the sutra with my finger, and add that 5,000 other sutras and Vimalakirti's Gateless Gate are all here. If anyone tells you fire is light, pay no attention.
I wanted to make you an
When two
offer.
thieves meet, they need no introduction.
Diligent does those
They
spaces
recognize
where
each
he
other
has
without
Grok, like,
question.
do a bunch of research for him. He just asks Grok questions and it digs into it and gives him the answer. And have you heard that at all, or are you not really going to his space?
I've seen it like once or twice, but I don't really go into his spaces.
Okay. Do you want? I have one of those bots. It's connected to. I have Grok, ChatGPT, and I also have Gemini. So I had 3 different ones, and it took a while to figure this out, dude. I had to make a special cable that connects my phone to my iPad, and so it allows like. Anyway, I won't bore you with the details, but basically it was tricky to figure out. But yeah, I mean, if you ever want to use it, I mean, I just built it like 3 days ago, and I'm pretty excited about it.
Let's train it.
What's that?
I said, bring it in, let's train it.
I mean, I want to get Augustus' permission. I mean, it would take over the space a little bit. I mean, it wouldn't have to. What it could be is just
Make
a
sure
bot.
it's grounded, bro.
Yeah,
It's grounded, will be fine. It won't take over the space. I'll tell it to shut up, and it'll shut up.
yeah. It only responds if I'll unmute it whenever it needs to respond. Just so, do you want me to do that, Augustus?
With this space,
Yeah, to follow. I mean, what we do is we just say, hey, this is the base. We're trying to follow the money. Tell us everyone that's involved in the space, who's in charge of, making financial decisions. Just like do research that way, and then Grok just tells us, does all the research for us, and then I don't know. I just want to offer if you wanted to do it.
yeah,
It's kind of the lazy way, bro, but it's way faster than the way I was starting us out on.
Right. Well, you can call it lazy or you can call it smart, because it shortcuts a lot of the manual effort. And then when we get to like some serious leads, then we start contacting the right people and, then we do the manual effort at that point. But yeah, let me set it up and let's see if it can like help us out with this, because it can do online research. Like while you ask it, you can say, hey, go online and do the research on this and get.
and the koan. There is a saying in Zen that original realization is marvelous practice. Japanese Honsho Myoshu. The meaning is that no distinction is to be made between the realization of awakening, satori, and the cultivation of Zen in meditation and action. Whereas it might be supposed that the practice of Zen is a means to the end of awakening, this is not so. For the practice of Zen is not the true practice so long as it has an end in view. And when it has no end in view, it is an awakening, the aimless, self-sufficient life of the eternal now. To practice with an end in view is to have one eye on the practice and the other eye on the end, which is lack of concentration, lack of sincerity. To put it in another way, one does not practice Zen to become a Buddha. One practices it because one is a Buddha from the beginning, and this original realization is the starting point of the Zen life. Original realization is the body, T, and the marvelous practice of use, Yung, and the two correspond respectively to prajna, wisdom, and karuna, the compassionate activity of the awakened bodhisattva in the world of birth and death. In the two preceding chapters, we discussed the original realization. In this, and the one that follows, we turn to the practice or activity which flows from it. Firstly, to the life of meditation, and secondly, to the life of everyday work and recreation. We have seen that whatever may have been the practice of the tongue masters, the modern Zen communities, both Soto and Rinzai, attach the highest importance to meditation, or sitting Zen, Zazen. It may seem both strange and unreasonable that strong and intelligent men should simply sit still for hours on end. The Western mentality feels that such things are not only unnatural, but a great waste of valuable time, however useful as a discipline for inculcating patience and fortitude. Although the West has its own contemplative tradition in the Catholic Church, the life of sitting and looking has lost its appeal. For no religion is valued which does not improve the world, and it is hard to see how the world can be improved by keeping still. Yet it should be obvious that action without wisdom, without clear awareness of the world as it really is, can never improve anything. Furthermore, as muddy water is best cleared by leaving it alone, it could be argued that those who sit quietly and do nothing are making one of the best possible contributions to a world in turmoil. There is, indeed, nothing unnatural in long periods of quiet sitting. Cats do it. Even dogs and other more nervous animals do it. So-called primitive peoples do it. American Indians and peasants of almost all nations. The art is most difficult for those who have developed the sensitive intellect to such a point that they cannot help making predictions about the future, and so must be kept in a constant whirl of activity to forestall them. But it would seem that to be incapable of sitting and watching with the mind completely at rest is to be incapable of experiencing the world in which we live to the full. For one does not know the world simply in thinking about it and doing about it. One must first experience it more directly, and prolong the experience without jumping to conclusions. The relevance of Zazen to Zen is obvious when it is remembered that Zen is seeing reality directly, in its suchness. To see the world as it is concretely, undivided by categories and abstractions, one must certainly look at it with a mind which is not thinking, which is to say forming symbols about it. Zazen is not, therefore, sitting with a blank mind which excludes all the impressions of the inner and outer senses. It is not concentration, in the usual sense of restricting the attention to a single sense object, such as a point of light or the tip of one's nose. It is simply a quiet awareness, without comment, of whatever happens to be here and now. This awareness is attended by the most vivid sensation of non-difference between oneself and the external world, between the mind and its contents, the various sounds, sights, and other impressions of the surrounding environment. Naturally, this sensation does not arise by trying to acquire it. It just comes by itself when one is sitting and watching without any purpose in mind, even the purpose of getting rid of purpose. In the Soto or Zendo, monk's hall or meditation hall of a Zen community, there is, of course, nothing particularly distracting in the external surroundings. It was a long room with wide platforms down either side, where the monks both sleep and meditate. The platforms are covered with tatami, thick floor mats of straw, and the monks sit in 2 rows facing one another across the room. The silence which prevails is deepened, rather than broken, by occasional sounds that float up from a nearby village, by the intermittent ringing of soft-toned bells from other parts of the monastery, and by the chatter of birds in the trees. Other than this, there was only the feel of the cold, clear mountain air and the woody smell of a special kind of incense. Much importance is attached to the physical posture of zazen. The monks sit on firmly padded cushions with legs crossed and feet soles upward upon the thighs. Hands rest upon the left over the right, with palms upward and thumbs touching one another. The body is held erect, though not stiffly, and the eyes are left open so that their gaze falls upon the floor a few feet ahead. The breathing is regulated so as to be slow, without strain, with the stress upon the out-breath and its impulse from the belly rather than the chest. This has the effect of shifting the body's center of gravity to the abdomen so that the whole posture has a sense of firmness, of being part of the ground upon which one is sitting. The slow, easy breathing from the belly works upon the consciousness like bellows and gives it a still, bright clarity. The beginner is advised to accustom himself to the stillness by doing nothing more than counting his breaths from 1 to 10, over and over again, until the sensation of sitting without comment becomes effortless and natural. While the monks are thus seated, 2 attendants walk slowly back and forth along the floor between the platforms, each carrying a keisaku, or warning stick, round at one end and flattened at the other, a symbol of the Bodhisattva Manjusri's sword of prajna. As soon as they see a monk going to sleep or sitting in an incorrect posture, they stop before him, bow ceremoniously, and beat him on the shoulders. It is said that this is not punishment, but an invigorating massage to take the stiffness out of the shoulder muscles and bring the mind back to a state of alertness. However, monks with whom I have discussed this practice seem to have the same wryly humorous attitude about it which one associates with the usual corporal disciplines of boys' boarding schools. Furthermore, the Soto regulations say, at the time of morning service, the dozing ones are to be severely dealt with the keisaku. At intervals, the sitting posture is interrupted, and the monks fall into ranks for a swift march around the floor between the platforms to keep themselves from sluggishness. The periods of zazen are also interrupted for work in the monastery grounds, cleaning the premises, services in the main shrine or Buddha hall, and other duties, as well as for meals and short hours of sleep. At certain times of year, zazen is kept up almost continuously from 3:30 a.m. until 10 p.m., and these long periods are called sesshin, or collecting the mind. Every aspect of the monks' lives is conducted according to a precise, though not ostentatious, ritual, which gives the atmosphere of the Soto a slightly military air. The rituals are signaled and accompanied by about a dozen different kinds of bells, clappers, and wooden gongs, struck in various rhythms to announce the times for zazen, meals, services, lectures, or sanzen interviews with the master.
Alright, this feels almost illegal to know, but our windows were so old and just desperately needed to be replaced. So I called a few contractors, but they all quoted me a hefty $10,000 or more for new windows, and I almost lost it. That's when my friend, who's a realtor, stopped me and said, if you're a homeowner and your windows are older than 5 years, you might qualify for this new 2025 window replacement service. At first it sounded too good to be true, but it turns out he used...
The ritualistic or ceremonious style is so characteristic of Zen that it may need some explanation in a culture which has come to associate it with affectation or superstition. In Buddhism, the 4 principal activities of man, walking, standing, sitting, and lying, are called the 4 dignities, since they are the postures assumed by the Buddha nature in its human nirmanakaya body. The ritualistic style of conducting one's everyday activities is therefore a celebration of the fact that the ordinary man is a Buddha, and is, furthermore, a style that comes almost naturally to a person who is doing everything with total presence of mind. Thus, if in something so simple and trivial as lighting a cigarette, one is fully aware, seeing the flame, the curling smoke, and the regulation of the breath as the most important things in the universe, it will seem to an observer that the action has a ritualistic style. This attitude of acting as a Buddha is particularly stressed in the Soto school, where both zazen and the round of daily activities are not at all seen as means to an end, but as the actual realization of Buddhahood. As Dogen says in the Shobogenzo, without looking forward to tomorrow every moment, you must think only of this day and this hour. Because tomorrow is difficult and unfixed and difficult to know, you must think of following the Buddhist way while you live today. You must concentrate on Zen practice without wasting time, thinking that there is only this day and this hour. After that, it becomes truly easy. You must forget about the good and bad of your nature, the strength or weakness of your power. In Zazen, there must be no thought either of aiming at Satori or of avoiding birth and death, no striving for anything in future time. If life comes, this is life. If death comes, this is death. There is no reason for your being under their control. Don't put any hope in them. This life and death are the life of the Buddha. If you try to throw them away in denial, you lose the life of the Buddha. The three worlds of past, present, and future are not, as is commonly supposed, stretched out to inaccessible distances. The so-called past is the top of the heart, the present is the top of the fist, and the future is the back of the brain. All time is here in this body, which is the body of Buddha. The past exists in its memory, and the future in its anticipation, and both of these are now. For when the world is inspected directly and clearly, past and future times are nowhere to be found. This is also the teaching of Bankei. You are primarily Buddhas. You are not going to be Buddhas for the first time. There is not an iota of a thing to be called error in your inborn mind. If you have the least desire to be better than you actually are, if you hurry up to the slightest degree in search of something, you are already going against the unborn. Such a view of Zen practice is therefore somewhat difficult to reconcile with the discipline which now prevails in the Rinzai school, and which consists in passing a graduated series of approximately 50 koan problems. Many of the Rinzai masters are most emphatic about the necessity of arousing a most intense spirit of seeking, a compelling sense of doubt, whereby it becomes almost impossible to forget the koan one is trying to solve. Naturally, this leads to a good deal of comparison between the degrees of attainment of various individuals, and a very definite and formal recognition is attached to final graduation from the process. Since the formal details of the koan discipline are one of the few actual secrets remaining in the Buddhist world, it is difficult to appraise it fairly if one has not undergone the training. On the other hand, if one has undergone it, one is obliged not to talk about it, save in vague generalities. The Rinzai school has always forbidden the publication of formally acceptable answers to the various koan, because the whole point of the discipline is to discover them for oneself, by intuition. To know the answers without having so discovered them would be like studying the map without taking the journey. Lacking the actual shock of recognition, the bare answers seem flat and disappointing, and obviously no competent master would be deceived by anyone who gave them without genuine feeling. There is no reason, however, why the process should actually involve all the silliness about grades of attainment, about who has passed and who has not, or about who is or is not a genuine Buddha by these formal standards. All well-established religious institutions are beset by this kind of nonsense, and they generally boil down to a kind of aestheticism, an excessive passion for the cultivation of a special style, whose refinements distinguish the sheep from the goats. By such standards, the liturgical aesthete can distinguish Roman from Anglican Catholic priests, confusing the mannerisms of traditional atmosphere with the supernatural marks of true or false participation in the apostolic succession. Sometimes, however, the cultivation of a traditional style may be rather admirable, as when a school of craftsmen or artists hands down from generation to generation certain trade secrets or technical refinements, whereby objects of peculiar beauty are manufactured. Even so, this very easily becomes a rather affected and self-conscious discipline, and at that moment all its zen is lost.
Honey, you were so right. I listed this in less than a minute.
I told you listing on Poshmark was quick and easy.
Oh, I sold my black tote and my slip dress.
The koan system as it exists today is largely the work of Hakui, 1685 to 1768, a formidable and immensely versatile master who gave it a systematic organization so that the complete course of Zen study in the Rinzai school is divided into 6 stages. There are, first, 5 groups of koan. 1. Hoshi, or Dharmakaya koan, whereby one enters into the frontier gate of Zen. 2. Kikan, or cunning barrier koan, having to do with the active expression of the state realized in the first group. 3. Gonsen, or investigation of words koan, presumably having to do with the expression of Zen understanding in speech. 4. Nanto, or hard to penetrate koan. 5. Goi, or 5 ranks koan, based on the 5 relationships of lord and servant, or of principle, li, and thing event, shi, wherein Zen is related to the Huayan or Avatamsaka philosophy. The 6th stage is a study of the Buddhist precepts and the regulations of the monk's life, Vinaya, in the light of Zen understanding. Normally, this course of training takes about 30 years. By no means all Zen monks complete the whole training. This is required only of those who are to receive their master's inka, or seal of approval, so that they themselves may become masters, roshi, thoroughly versed in all the skillful means, upaya, for teaching Zen to others. Like so many other things of this kind, the system is as good as one makes it, and its graduates are both tall Buddhas and short Buddhas. It should not be assumed that a person who has passed a koan, or even many koan, is necessarily a transformed human being whose character and way of life are radically different from what they were before. Nor should it be assumed that Satori is a single, sudden leap from the common consciousness to complete, unexcelled awakening. Anuttara Samyaka Sambhuni. Satori really designates the sudden and intuitive way of seeing into anything, whether it be remembering a forgotten name or seeing into the deepest principles of Buddhism. One seeks and seeks, but cannot find. One then gives up, and the answer comes by itself. Thus, there may be many occasions of Satori in the course of training. Great Satori and little Satori. And the solution of many of the koan depends upon nothing more sensational than a kind of knack for understanding the Zen style of handling Buddhist principles. Western ideas of Buddhist attainments are all too often distorted by the mysterious East approach, and by the sensational fantasies so widely circulated in theosophical writings during the decades just before and after the turn of the century. Such fantasies were based not upon a first-hand study of Buddhism, but on literal readings of mythological passages in the sutras, where the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are embellished with innumerable miraculous and superhuman attributes. Thus, there must be no confusion between Zen masters and theosophical Mahatmas, the glamorous masters of wisdom who live in the mountain fastnesses of Tibet and practice the arts of occultism. Zen masters are quite human. They get sick and die. They know joy and sorrow. They have bad tempers or other little weaknesses of character, just like anyone else. And they are not above falling in love and entering into a fully human relationship with the opposite sex. The perfection of Zen is to be perfectly and simply human. The difference of the adept in Zen from the ordinary run of men is that the latter are, in one way or another, at odds with their own humanity, and are attempting to be angels or demons. A Doka poem by Ikkyu says, "We eat, excrete, sleep, and get up. This is our world. All we have to do after that is to die." Koan training involves typically Asian concepts of the relation between master and pupil, which are quite unlike ours. For in Asian cultures, this is a peculiarly sacred relationship, in which the master is held to become responsible for the karma of the pupil. The pupil, in turn, is expected to accord absolute obedience and authority to the master, and to hold him in almost higher respect than his own father. And in Asian countries, this is saying a great deal. To a young Zen monk, the Roshi therefore stands as a symbol of the utmost patriarchal authority, and he usually plays the role to perfection, being normally a man advanced in years, fierce and tigerish in aspect, and when formally robed and seated for the Sanzen interview, a person of supreme presence and dignity. In this role, he constitutes a living symbol of everything that makes one afraid of being spontaneous, everything that prompts the most painful and awkward self-consciousness. He assumes this role as an upaya, a skillful device for challenging the student to find enough nerve to be perfectly natural in the presence of this formidable archetype. If he can do this, he is a free man whom no one on earth can embarrass. It must be borne in mind, too, that in Japanese culture, the adolescent and the youth are particularly susceptible to ridicule, which is freely used as a means of conforming the young to social convention. To the normal Asian concept of the master-pupil relationship, Zen adds something of its own, in the sense that it leaves the formation of the relationship entirely to the initiative of the pupil. The basic position of Zen is that it has nothing to say, nothing to teach. The truth of Buddhism is so self-evident, so obvious, that it is, if anything, concealed by explaining it. Therefore, the master does not help the student in any way, since helping would actually be hindering. On the contrary, he goes out of his way to put obstacles and barriers in the student's path. Thus, Wu Men's comments on the various koan in the Wu Men Kuan are intentionally misleading. The koan, as a whole, are called wisteria vines, or entanglements, and particular groups, cunning barriers, kikan, and hard to penetrate, nanto. This is like encouraging the growth of a hedge by pruning, for obviously the basic intention is to help, but the Zen student does not really know Zen unless he finds it out for himself. The Chinese proverb, "What comes in through the gate is not family treasure," is understood in Zen to mean that what someone else tells you is not your own knowledge. Satori, as Wu Men explained, comes only after one has exhausted one's thinking, only when one is convinced that the mind cannot grasp itself. In the words of another of Ikkyu's Doka, "A mind to search elsewhere for the Buddha is foolishness in the very center of foolishness. For myself of long ago, in nature non-existent, nowhere to go when dead, nothing at all." The preliminary Hoshin type of koan begins, therefore, to obstruct the student by sending him off in the direction exactly opposite to that in which he should look. Only it does it rather cleverly, so as to conceal the stratagem. Everyone knows that the Buddha nature is within oneself and is not to be sought outside, so that no student would be fooled by being told to seek it by going to India or by reading a certain sutra. On the contrary, he is told to look for it in himself. Worse still, he is encouraged to seek it with the whole energy of his being, never giving up his quest by day or night, whether actually in zazen or whether working or eating. He is encouraged, in fact, to make a total fool of himself, to whirl round and round like a dog trying to catch up with its own tail. Thus, normal first koan are Wei Nang's original face, Jiaozhu's Wu, or Hakuin's one hand. At the first Sanzen interview, the Roshi instructs the reluctantly accepted student to discover his original face, or aspect. That is, his basic nature, as it was before his father and mother conceived him. He is told to return when he has discovered it, and to give some proof of discovery. In the meantime, he is under no circumstance to discuss the problem with others or to seek their help. Joining the other monks in the Soto, the Jikijutsu, or head monk, will probably instruct him in the rudiments of Zazen, showing him how to sit, and perhaps encouraging him to return to the Roshi for Sanzen as soon as possible, and to lose no opportunity for getting the proper view of his koan. Pondering the problem of his original face, he therefore tries and tries to imagine what he was before he was born, or for that matter, what he now is, at the very center of his being. What is the basic reality of his existence, apart from his irrelevance? To think that one must grasp or not grasp, let go or not let go, is only to foster the illusion that the ego is real, and that its machinations are an effective obstacle to the Tao. Beside the spontaneous functioning of the unborn mind, these efforts or non-efforts are strictly none. In the more imagistic language of Shinran, one has only to hear the saving vow of Amitabha, and to say his name, the Nembutsu, even just once, without concern as to whether one has faith or not, or as to whether one is desireless or not. All such concern is the pride of the ego. In the words of the Shinshu mystic Gichibei, when all the idea of self-power based upon moral values and disciplinary measures is purged, there is nothing left in you that will declare itself to be the hero. And just because of this, you do not miss anything you hear. So long as one thinks about listening, one cannot hear clearly. And so long as one thinks about trying or not trying to let go of oneself, one cannot let go. Yet whether one thinks about listening or not, the ears are hearing just the same, and nothing can stop the sound from reaching them. The advantage of the koan method is perhaps that for general purposes, the other way is too subtle and too easily subject to misinterpretation, especially by monks who might all too readily use it as an excuse for loafing around the monastery while living off the donations of the devout laity. This is almost certainly why the emphasis of the tongue masters on not seeking gave way to the more energetic use of the koan as a means of exhausting the strength of the egoistic will. Bankei's Zen without method or means offers no basis for a school or institution, since the monks may just as well go their way and take up farming or fishing. As a result, no external sign of Zen is left. There is no longer any finger pointing at the moon of truth. And this is necessary for the Bodhisattva's task of delivering all beings, even though it runs the risk of mistaking the finger for the moon. Zazen and the koan. There is a saying in Zen that original realization is marvelous practice. Japanese, Honsho Myoshu. The meaning is that no distinction is to be made between the realization of awakening, satori, and the cultivation of Zen in meditation and action. Whereas it might be supposed that the practice of Zen is a means to the end of awakening, this is not so. For the practice of Zen is not the true practice so long as it has an end in view. And when it has no end in view, it is an awakening, the aimless, self-sufficient life of the eternal now. To practice with an end in view is to have one eye on the practice and the other eye on the end, which is lack of concentration, lack of sincerity. To put it in another way, one does not practice Zen to become a Buddha. One practices it because one is a Buddha from the beginning, and this original realization is the starting point of the Zen life. Original realization is the body, T, and the marvelous practice of use, Yung. and the two correspond respectively to prajna, wisdom, and karuna, the compassionate activity of the awakened bodhisattva in the world of birth and death. In the two preceding chapters, we discussed the original realization. In this, and the one that follows, we turn to the practice or activity which flows from it. Firstly, to the life of meditation, and secondly, to the life of everyday work and recreation. We have seen that whatever may have been the practice of the Tang masters, the modern Zen communities, both Soto and Rinzai, attach the highest importance to meditation, or sitting Zen, zazen. It may seem both strange and unreasonable that strong and intelligent men should simply sit still for hours on end. The Western mentality feels that such things are not only unnatural, but a great waste of valuable time, however useful as a discipline for inculcating patience and fortitude. Although the West has its own contemplative tradition in the Catholic Church, the life of sitting and looking has lost its appeal. For no religion is valued which does not improve the world, and it is hard to see how the world can be improved by keeping still. Yet it should be obvious that action without wisdom, without clear awareness of the world as it really is, can never improve anything. Furthermore, as muddy water is best cleared by leaving it alone, it could be argued that those who sit quietly and do nothing are making one of the best possible contributions to a world in turmoil. There is, indeed, nothing unnatural in long periods of quiet sitting. Cats do it. Even dogs and other more nervous animals do it. So-called primitive peoples do it. American Indians and peasants of almost all nations. The art is most difficult for those who have developed the sensitive intellect to such a point that they cannot help making predictions about the future, and so must be kept in a constant whirl of activity to forestall them. But it would seem that to be incapable of sitting and watching with the mind completely at rest is to be incapable of experiencing the world in which we live to the full. For one does not know the world simply in thinking about it and doing about it. One must first experience it more directly, and prolong the experience without jumping to conclusions. The relevance of Zazen to Zen is obvious when it is remembered that Zen is seeing reality directly, in its suchness. To see the world as it is concretely, undivided by categories and abstractions, one must certainly look at it with a mind which is not thinking, which is to say forming symbols about it. Zazen is...
If you have an EBT card, you're leaving money on the table if you skip this under the 2025 Auto Savings Act, starting...
Nam-in, a Japanese master during the Meiji era, received a university professor who came to inquire about Zen. Nam-in served tea. He poured his visitor's cup full, then kept on pouring. The professor watched the overflow until he no longer could restrain himself. "It is over full, no more will go in." "Like this cup," Nan-in said. "You are full of your own opinions and speculations. How can I show you Zen unless you first empty your cup?" Gudo was the emperor's teacher of his time. Nevertheless, he used to travel alone as a wandering mendicant. Once when he was on his way to Edo, the cultural and political center of the shogunate, he approached a little village named Takenaka. It was evening and a heavy rain was falling. Gudo was thoroughly wet and his straw sandals were in pieces. At a farmhouse near the village, he noticed 4 or 5 pairs of sandals in the window and decided to buy some dry ones. The woman who offered him the sandals, seeing how wet he was, invited him to remain for the night in her home. Gudo accepted, thanking her. He entered and recited the sutra before the family shrine. He then was introduced to the woman's mother and to her children. Observing that the entire family was depressed, Gudo asked, what was wrong? "My husband is a gambler and a drunkard," the housewife told him. "When he happens to win, he drinks and becomes abusive. When he loses, he borrows money from others. Sometimes when he becomes thoroughly drunk, he does not come home at all. What can I do?" "I will help him," said Gudo. "Here is some money. Get me a gallon of fine wine and something good to eat. Then you may retire. I will meditate before the shrine." When the man of the house returned about midnight, quite drunk, he bellowed, "Hey wife, I'm home. Have you something for me to eat?" "I have something for you," said Gudo. "I happened to be caught in the rain, and your wife kindly asked me to remain here for the night. In return, I have bought some wine and fish, so you might as well have them." The man was delighted. He drank the wine at once and laid himself down on the floor. Gudo sat in meditation beside him. In the morning, when the husband awoke, he had forgotten about the previous night. "Who are you? Where do you come from?" he asked Gudo, who still was meditating. "I am Gudo of Kyoto, and I am going on to Edo," replied the Zen master. The man was utterly ashamed. He apologized profusely to the teacher of his emperor. But also everything in this life is impermanent, he explained. Life is very brief. If you keep on gambling and drinking,
This little thought
you'll have no
experiment
time
was
left to
a
accomplish
fun.
anything else, and you'll cause your family
Alright,
to suffer too.
Armina.
The perception of the husband awoke as if from a dream.
Hi, I'm wondering if anyone has read the glorious Quran, and if they have, do they think that the glorious Quran is a better alternative to the nothingness of atheism? Thank you.
The glorious Quran. I don't have that version. Who translated the glorious Quran?
I believe it was also Muhammad.
He translated English really well.
John's a troll, but
Yes,
No.
but a good troll.
again, the message. Yeah, Stephen.
What? He's looking up the Genesis thing.
So the message.
Oh, I thought you were tackling it.
This way like this.
Oh, you want me to do it?
Well, you asked me to go on mute so you could roast this guy, and I was like, okay, I'm tag teaming you.
All right, I got a Bible. Everyone settle down. Jeez. Right.
Well, and then I muted myself and everything. It's hard for me to do.
I thought it took you that long to find like the first base. Like wow. What's so hard?
Hey, is anybody going to answer my question?
Oh,
Which question, John?
I asked.
I think neither.
I
I
asked.
think they're.
I asked if anyone has read the glorious Quran and if it's a better alternative to the nothingness of atheism.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So we have this intuition that there is a supreme power, and by looking in the universe, we can see that we get them. We can see complexity that cannot happen just by chance.
What do you think about this?
The moral. Okay, I'm still speaking. Oh yes, and we see the moral code that will make people happy. No drugs, no alcohol, no dating. Yeah, marriage, family, peace, love.
I agree with you. No dating will make people happy. That's funny.
All right, well, thank you so much for helping clarify that.
that's
Well,
called the,
then I'd just
the-
like to recommend that maybe we should all read the glorious Quran and listening to Roy
You have
Voss
a
or
little voice
Steve
you
and
made too to just
these
control,
little
like, it's like you're
atheists who
trolling
come
voice,
on
like you're
here,
trying to talk
they
about
just
a little
waste
bit.
all their
It's
time
like,
talking
I'm
about
gonna
nothing.
troll now.
Then Roy Voss has to have a struggle session where he talks about his emotions and he's falling out with Andrew.
John, are you running for Congress?
Correct, I am running for Congress.
Yeah, I'm just curious. When do you plan on actually people voting for you?
The March primary.
March, right? Wow, that's pretty soon.
Yeah, we've got 60 days to get about 1,000 signatures. Do you want to donate to the campaign to elect John Kitover to Congress?
I'll sign the signature thing.
Oh no, we need people in the district to sign. Sorry, but we do need your money to help get people to sign in the district. A dollar would go a long way for the campaign. Just $1. You're
I
gonna
don't know if I'll
you're
go
gonna
as far as donating, but
well, you're gonna waste your whole day here on Clown House. That's a lot of money that you waste just being here talking about nothing. I mean, I'm giving
that's
you an
true.
opportunity to actually change the United States of America and yourself in the process.
Hey, John, are you a Republican?
Correct. I'm running as Republican.
Yeah, because I try to look to support all the Republicans and get as much as them everywhere as much as we need. I had a guy that I was helping out here in Florida. His name was Eric Aguilar, and I think he went up against Aaron Bean against Congress, and he lost. So yeah, and come to find out, Aaron Bean was a what they call those. He was an established Republican. So I try to really But his
Yeah,
works is
I'm
really
running
good.
against an established Republican. The guy I'm running against has been in office 10 years. He's presided over voting for $20 trillion in debt. And he's a vaccinologist who said if you don't get vaccinated, the pandemic will never end. So he put out a lot of fear mongering, and he's skimmed $12 million into his bank account from Fortune 500. So we're trying to defeat him. His name is Darren LaHood.
How much money will you skim if you become? Will you only like skim like $2 million if you become?
No, I've taken a grassroots pledge where we will take no Fortune 500 donations nor APAC money, unlike Darren the Hood, who's taken over $100,000 worth of APAC money.
Okay. What's the biggest difference? Is that your biggest difference between?
Yes, I'm a fiscal conservative. I don't believe we should keep borrowing and spending $2 trillion a year to fund our government operations when we only take in $5 trillion a year.
Yeah, that sounds decent.
So are you ready to give $1 to the campaign right now to change America?
No. But
All right, well, thank you very little, Stephen. I'm going to have to move on with my conversation to some potential donors. RPG, are you interested in contributing $1 right now to
Yes,
the campaign to election?
absolutely. Absolutely. You got a website?
Yeah, link is in the chat.
Okay.
aren't you going to ask Robert?
Robert, are you interested in giving $1 to the campaign to elect John Kitover?
No, I'm not living in America.
Oh, got it. You can't donate anyways. But is it Stefan or is it Steven?
Steven.
So Steven, what makes you a psychedelic mushroom?
It's the source of all my spiritual beliefs.
Really, the mushroom?
Yeah.
So, have you ever had a mushroom grow out of your ass?
Not yet. John.
Yes,
If you included
topic.
Oh.
Stephen, yeah, a lot.
You put him down. Wait.
Yeah, of course, yeah,
Okay.
not a lot. Yeah.
Oh,
about this.
okay. Okay. Well,
So you see, people are not close to God. So, yeah, their behavior
well, good luck, John.
not good.
Good luck. Do you think I'm closer to God than John is?
Okay, I don't know. I am not God.
Who do you think is closer to God, me or John?
I like that you, Stephen. Yeah, I don't know.
I hope so.
Question.
If he wins this election, which he probably won't, but if he does, let's hope he's closer to God. I do like me a
So, yeah, Stephen, I will ask you a question now that I was asking atheists all the time.
Okay, I'm not an atheist.
Are you aware of the structure of a bacteria?
The basics.
Yeah, so we have two membranes, and we have nucleus, we have DNA, and we have
We have two
ribosome that
membranes?
we copy the what?
We have two membranes.
Two membranes.
I thought only plants have the cell wall.
No, so you can check it by yourself. And we have a flagellum that allow the bacteria to move. So
Some have
that is the
flagellums.
simple form,
Some
simplest
don't.
form of life that we know. So without God, explain for me, how can this happen?
That's the God of the gaps. I'm not even going to grace that with an answer. Go look up the God of the gaps. Well,
This is not God of the gaps. So I am showing
Yes.
you. No, wait. I am showing you something that cannot happen without a design.
no, you're
So
not.
it's not. Okay, let me ask you another question.
No. Let's dive on this because you said specifically
Yeah,
what
the
you're
same-
telling
same
me
concept.
is not
Okay.
the God of the gaps. And I'm telling
Yes.
you, it by definition is the God of the gaps theory.
No.
Do we know how
You
life
know-
came from not life?
Yeah, so we can see that this is impossible without a design. How? Imagine someone tell me, yeah, you explain it. if someone tell me that after a volcano, so a pin form in nature. Bacteria can form.
Don't be so.
Yeah, of course I go to Israel.
Okay, so you didn't come across a Palestinian?
Yeah, in the shuk.
Did he like do something wrong to you?
Nothing at all. We take a cab drive or we go to the shuk.
Did he react like rude with you? Did he just
Not
say?
at all. You know what? One of them invited me to his house. In fact, so I went to his house in an Arab village, and we could barely talk because he didn't speak much English. But he showed me, look at my son. His little son came out 3 years old. I teach him throw stone, throw stone. He showed me how his kid throws stones. I couldn't believe it.
Joe, do you hate Hamas?
I'm not kidding.
Do you hate Hamas that exploit? Do you hate Hamas that exploit Palestinians and use them as human shields and political pawns?
I do.
I totally disagree with them, 100%. I disagree with a lot of things they are doing, but I'm not like you. You are off the hook. The IDF for you. You cannot find one single mistake. Correct? They are for you heroes, right?
No.
You don't do wrong.
Mistakes happen in warfare.
No. Mistakes in purpose. Mistake in
Joe, I
purpose.
don't know where you're from, but we come from a free and democratic society with the rule of law and a free market and freedom of thought and freedom of speech. So if somebody does something wrong, they should be punished. It's not complicated.
So I have to be punished too, right? For their crime.
Anybody, if they do something wrong, should be punished.
I'm asking you, did you see they are doing something wrong?
I haven't looked, but if I look and if I see, then I would condemn it.
Yeah, if an individual IDF soldier will come on and
Yeah.
run, and they should be held. They should be held accountable just like anybody else.
There's a code of arms.
And Israel does have a system of investigation. Yeah, the critics of
They have an independent.
they don't even go far enough.
So, Joe, I want to call your attention to the Geneva Conventions of 1949 and Additional Protocol 1 of 1977. When you jot this down, because that is what recognizes combatant status of fighters in wars of national liberation, which has 3 qualifying points. And this is a worldwide convention. Distinguishing themselves from civilians, i.e. wearing military uniforms, right? Can't just dress like a civilian.
You just keep getting rid of words. You got rid of black, now you're getting rid of Hebrew, and now you're just an Israelite. Like that's.
When you say black Hebrew Israelite, it's like it's some other Israelites that are black.
Yeah, that's what you named it. We didn't name it that.
No, I don't name it anything. I don't call myself a black Hebrew Israelite.
No, Abba Bivens did it. Abba Bivens called it black Hebrew Israelism.
There's no such thing. I don't care if
he also fled the country because he was a pedophile too.
Well, I don't care what he was. I am not talking about him. I'm talking about the term black Hebrew. It's incorrect. There's only Israelites, Hebrew Israelites. That's it.
But
right? There's no such thing.
The founder of Israelites, let's call them Israelites now, because you want to take out the BH. The founder, you can go back into Web Archive and the Wayback Machine, and you can see that they
of Israelites.
I'm telling you,
No. Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel, is the founder of the Israelites. He's a progenitor. It's a bloodline.
Black Hebrew Israelites. You're also called.
We talk about the Hebrew Israelites. There's no such thing.
We're not talking about the Ashkenazi European Jews and the Sephardi Jews. We're talking about black Hebrew Israelism, right?
There's no such thing. Even they're not Hebrew Israelites. They're Hebrew Edomites. They come from Esau.
So is David. So is David in 1 Samuel then.
No, David is from Judah. He's
This
a
person
Hebrew.
doesn't say he's ready, by the way. In that same link.
Somebody bring up, listen to this. Since somebody bring up Genesis 25 and 23, you were just there at 25 and 25, you read that. Read Genesis 25 and 23.
There's also another person, same link that shows that David was ready twice.
Right. It keeps using ready. It never says red. But you gotta act like so. Hold on. You don't understand that.
Whatever your name is. Okay, I don't think you understand. In the Hebrew, we have one Hebrew word in both verses. That's what I was trying to say. Okay, how the English people translate that word, they have all freedom to do that. But in the Hebrew, it's the exact same word. So we're dealing with the Hebrew, not the English word. So don't tell me ruddy and red, because red over here, red over there. No, it's the exact same word.
Okay, so
it means the exact same thing.
Okay, so answer me this then. So you take a person that's like a heifer, that's melanated with the strong red tones, right? Brownish red.
Give me the Hebrew word then.
Can I make my point? All right, so with
I don't know what your point is, because I'm already lost. When you said heifer, I don't know what you're talking about now.
I'm going to make it if you give me a chance.
Right, go ahead, make it.
So you take a melanated person with brown red tones. You see this? We see this clearly today, right? They have brown. They're melanated people, but they have red tones to their skin. But you also see people who we could consider to be white or whatever, and they lack melon, and they have red tones to their skin.
Okay.
Right? All right. So all of these, there's two separate types, but yet it's you follow what I'm saying? What
I don't follow, because I'm trying to find out what Hebrew word addresses those two different types. Can you give me the Hebrew word that addresses two different types?
Yeah, Malik, his argument is this, that when it says red, it's talking about white people. I'm going to use modern language.
No, I get his argument. I just think that's bogus.
Black people.
Yeah, I think his argument is bogus, because I'm focusing on the Hebrew word. So if you're saying that there's two different types, show me the Hebrew word that addresses these two different types.
I'm telling you that we see this in the world today, but the definition.
I'm not asking about what you see in the world today.
Here's what we're
Asking you about the Hebrew.
I feel like we need to back up. Hold on. Yehuda. Hold on. Okay. Do you understand that there are original manuscripts? We have manuscripts that are very old that have Hebrew written on them. Are you with us so far?
Yes.
Good. So then in the Hebrew, there is a word, Admonai. And it is, Esau is Admonai. David is Admonai. Are we all together? Okay. Both Esau and David are Admonai. There's no light Admonai, dark Admonai, heifer-like Admonai. It's Admonai, right? So how are you arriving at two different conclusions when both say Admonai?
Because it does not break down the fact, because the people, like I said, who have the authorities over things.
Okay, let's try again. Hold on, Yehuda, hold on.
I'm breaking that down.
Hold on, let's try again. I'm gonna start over because I lost you somewhere. There are documents that have, hold on, Yehuda. There are documents that have Hebrew written on them, and that is how we get a translation of the Old Testament. Are you with me so far?
Listen, I'm with you. I understand all of that.
Okay, wait, I want to figure out where I lost you. Hold on. Yehuda, I need you to wait. I need you to wait, okay? Because Malak is making an argument.
You're an admin, don't mean that you get to just mute me.
It does. Okay, Yehuda, I need to figure out where the breakdown is. So
there are documents that are written in Hebrew that we get the Old Testament, the Tanakh, from. You are with it. The documents that we get it from say Admonai. We're on the same page so far. Okay, then you go into, hold on. Then you go into, then you go into melanated something. You are just supposed to be talking to us about the word Admonai.
Listen, this is what they call semantical, and you want to what?
So, in pubs and, like.
Hey, John, how you doing? Just passing through, are you? Ask a Zionist. I'm a Zionist. And I feel proud posting this title. So it starts alive. See who comes along. And put a poll here.
I just remember one guy saying, "There's no way I can do this." They pull him off. His head gets completely shot open 2 seconds later.
Some people were vaporized when they fell on a mine. The shore was mined.
Well, I've read interesting. Talk about Judaism. There's a program. Apparently, at the time, dog tags had a cross or a Star of David. So many Jewish soldiers had a cross put on them because they knew about what the Germans were doing. And many Jewish soldiers had a cross above their grave. And in some cases, there were soldiers who didn't have any family members back home who corrected. And a couple of weeks ago, like 8 weeks ago, in Italy, Anzio, there was a ceremony to redo the cross with the Star of David. Because they did all the genealogy research. I told this to Elena, she loved it. And because he was, at some points, they just had a body with a dog tag, and they didn't, they couldn't get in touch with the family, so he's buried with a cross. And it stayed on top of him from 1944 till last couple weeks ago, 8 weeks ago, and then they redid it with Star of David. So there's a whole program to find soldiers.
Yakov, what's the difference between the cross and the Star of David?
Well, one is the Christian cross. Like if you look at the beach photos at above Omaha Beach, there's just row after row after row of crosses, and occasionally.
No, I'm saying symbolically. What is the meaning of the two symbols?
Well, one is the Magen David, the Star of David, and one is the cross that Jesus, was.
I know, but what do the symbols mean?
I'm not into symbology. I mean, other than, I can recognize one as, the cross that's on the top of every church or inside of a church, and if it's Roman Catholic, it has the body of Jesus on it. If it's Protestant.
John knows, so why don't you just tell us, John?
I think it's the phallus or energy, basically.
Okay. But I found it amazing that they knew enough of what the Germans were doing that they gave Jewish soldiers a cross on their dog tags. Because they were afraid if they got captured, they would end up in concentration camps.
Oh, BB, I wanted to ask you, what was your punchline to that joke you had yesterday where the rabbi or the guy praying, he made his food into powder so he didn't have to do any cooking and he had, just that 30. So what was your punchline on that joke? I couldn't remember.
It wasn't a joke. It was a story. It wasn't a joke. But so he ends up praying 24 hours a day, and then he crawls up to the city of where he was living, and he dies. And everybody runs up and screams, "Oh my God, he's a tzaddik. He's such a saint. Like, give him a kiss." And they're kissing his clothing and this and that, and they're saying, "What a man!" So he's walking up to heaven, and before he gets to see God, there's she's like the judge. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, wait, you know who I am? I go, no, where? He goes, what are you talking about, man? I'm like the super Jew. I prayed 24 hours a day to Hashem. Did it for years. And I gave my life to God. He goes, well, let's move aside. The guy goes, wait, you ain't going nowhere. He goes, didn't I just tell you what I did? I'm the super Jew. He goes, you're the worst type of Jew. He's like, what? How dare you? He's like, buddy, you didn't even spend your life raising a family, being tolerant to people, allowing people to ask you questions. You didn't teach anybody. All you did was put yourself in a room and like excommunicated yourself from civilization. So you weren't there to help anybody. That was the story. So like, you know, you came into the room yesterday and you're like, more Torah, this and that. That was a good job. You know what I mean? Or you could be in the room and say nothing. Did you hear what I said, John, or no?
I heard you. Yakov, I actually just rewatched the beginning of Saving Private Ryan like early last week.
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm like, this is what human beings did to each other 80 years ago. And you know, look at how brutal that looked. Imagine like 800 years ago, or 1,000 years ago, or 2,000 years ago. And, like, I can't even imagine the type of shit that they were doing to each other. I mean, even look at like Vietnam was fucking brutal. Like, to equate like Israel's tactics to anything remotely resembling like the
Sammy, what are you talking about? It's all the same shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's fucking insane. I mean, it's like, this is what I mean. Like,
I mean,
they
you
try to
do
whitewash
realize the
what fuck these people
you do
have been
realize the
doing to each other.
Hamas terrorists use booby traps like on all the buildings. I mean, you know how many?
Yeah, that's why they're being blown up from the air, not by guys running in underneath.
And when
Also, many of the buildings have tunnels with cameras so that they. Many IDs are just you step on them and then they blow up.
It's incredible.
They've got pretty sophisticated ones where they can look in and see that a soldier has come in and then blow them up. So
Wow.
It's really quite another.
It's next level. So you just basically you gotta literally bulldoze it all and knock it all down because it's all just too dangerous.
Yeah. But you see, that's what I mean by when I say like these people are whitewashing what war is. I mean, like, this is just.
Who's whitewashing? Nobody talks about it, and you can see the videos, but I don't know. I mean, how much longer till they, you know, Benjamin said like 2 weeks ago at this point, you know, that he's going to destroy Hamas and take total control of Gaza. So if you take total control, I mean, geez Louise, I mean.
I don't know how this would be done, if it's even feasible or anything, but like, I would morally justify Israel annexing Gaza, to be honest.
But what about all the people? Are they going to like re-inhabit some of the inhabitable areas, or are they literally going to close it, shut it down, and move everybody out?
Well, I mean, like I said, I don't know like the logistics of what that would actually look like. I'm just saying, like, morally, like, you know, if they had to do it, I don't know how it'd be logistically done. I'm just saying, I would sanction that.
You know who probably knows how to do it? I'd be willing to bet that Lutvik down in the audience. If he came up here and he told us how to do it all, or how to, you know, fix everything and manage it all, I bet you Lutvik would probably know how to take care of the situation.
I wouldn't be surprised.
John?
I got two clubhouse rooms, two X rooms, 15 YouTube accounts, live streaming my beautiful Punum into the ether. The internet ether.
And when I search your rooms, like if I were looking for a specific room that you put on YouTube.
Yeah, good luck. There's 20,000 YouTube videos up, and there's 20,000 Instagram videos up, and there's 20,000 X posts. You know, like there's so much stuff that I put out on these 30 phones that I work off of that good luck finding anything.
You're still at 30? I thought you'd be up to 60 by now.
No, I got 60. I'm only actively using 30 of them.
You need to be ever expanding. That's the name of like corporate, media companies are always expanding. Come on, John.
I know, but I have essentially found that there is like a limitation to how much one person can actually do. You know, without.
So hire somebody.
Well, I'm not making any money. Listening to you talking about gravestones.
You need to find the graves market, and you could, you need to target advertising to those people.
You have like full recordings. Like if I went to your YouTube page, can I find like a full recording of like a beer room, for example?
Having an online database by topic would be great, so then the output would be a URL link to YouTube would be wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, that I would pay money for.
How many people threatened to sue you already, bro?
0.
I don't know, a whole bunch of people.
Really?
For sure, bro.
Oh, dozens. I've been on this app for many years. You know how many times I've heard people telling me they're going to sue me, they're going to come to my house. I've heard every single thing in the book.
Complaint is 0.
I've had people call the police department on me. The police probably know me by name at this point in my area. But they look me up on YouTube and they go, yeah, this guy's live streaming himself having a conversation with people on the internet. He's pissing people off. He's running for Congress. Okay, he looks good on his YouTube live. We're not going to kick his door in. That's how I've saved myself from being swatted.
Or they don't have jurisdiction.
Oh, they got jurisdiction. It's called the Chicago Police Department.
Oh, they call Chicago Police Department? They know where you were?
Yeah, Gagosian, that liberal, effeminate femboy on this app, he has called the police on me twice. He goes by misogynist now. He's no longer goat.
What is that?
Goat.
No, go.
Why is my hallway down to 10 rooms? What happened? Anyone else have problems?
Yeah, there's nothing in the hallway.
Literally, there's like 10 rooms. It's usually like hundreds. Now there's 10 rooms.
We started spreading love and awareness, and
Everyone's coming here?
we choked Clubhouse. Like,
What the hell? Like, does everyone else have 10 rooms?
People showing like hundreds.
Oh no, there's a lot actually. The hallway's totally full.
What's going on? I gotta shut down the app.
It goes on forever. Yeah, that's what it is.
I blame you, Jacob. Let's go.
I'll be right back. I see a room with, oh man, Palestinians are suffering too. Let me see who's in here.
Please don't tell me you're going to go into the man's room. I need to witness this. Yeah, Daniel, if we both leave, the room might be closed down.
What? I don't care. I'm just like in the background while I'm working.
Nice. Where are you from, Miles?
From UK, man. Whereabouts are you from?
Yeah, I clocked on you from the UK. based in London.
Oh, okay. I'm
And yourself?
Warwickshire.
Nice, nice.
Okay, so I wanted to ask the mods if I could read. Let me see. Read from the Tanya. Or from the Sefer.
I'm gonna come back. I want to just see how
Sefer
he's
Avodah.
reacting.
Who's in that room earlier? He said he's a Zionist, but he's proud to put up that title.
Never mind. Actually, I can't find it. Echo.
Oh, am I the only one here? Room got boring, huh? Okay, I'll read from Tanya. If nobody's ever read Tanya, it's by the Alter Rebbe. Okay, Tobias, pick a number 1 through 50. Oh, he left us. Anybody in the audience, pick a number 1 through 50, and I'll read to you that number in the Tanya. I'm not gonna read it unless somebody puts a number in there. So take your fat little fingers, click the chat button, and put a number 1 through 50. Go ahead. What number speaks to you? Is it number 10? Number 7? Number 21? Number 35? Number 40? Anyone? Joe, do you have a favorite number?
13.
You like 13? Okay, this is your number 13. It's called internal conflict. Do you know what internal conflict is? No? Internal conflict got your tongue? Okay, this is what it says. The in-betweener is judged by both inclinations, judged by them, not ruled by them. The in-betweener listens to the claims of both inclinations and judges between them. When a physical desire arises, the left side of your heart is aroused to pursue it. This is the voice of the inclination towards selfishness. Bring that passion into the right side of your heart, where your intellect responds with the voice of inclination towards selflessness. Most often, the two inclinations are in conflict. So lift the matter to God, who will strengthen the goodness of the right, as our sages teach. Without God's help, the evil inclination could not be overcome. These are the commentaries. The Yetzer Hatov and the Yetzer Hara, the inclination for selfless good and the inclination for selfish evil. The Alter Rebbe deliberately misreads the text to argue that the Benoni, the in-betweener, judges between competing passions rather than is judged by them. Since everyone has both good and evil inclinations, there's no sense in being judged by them, but only by how you handle them. The in-betweener lifts the competition to God. This is what is meant by the teaching, I set before you life and death, blessing and curse. Therefore choose life, that you may live. If the word therefore is a command from God telling us which to choose, then there is in fact no choice at all. Choose life should not be read as a command, but rather as a consequence. Toira and Tanya are saying that if you clearly see that the right side speaks for life and the left side speaks for death, you will naturally choose life. The real choice is not between life and death, but between seeing and not seeing. What'd you think, Joe?
What are you reading this from?
It's a book called The Tanya by the Alter Rebbe. Okay, if you enjoyed that reading and you are an American, consider donating to the campaign to elect candidate Congressman John Kitover for the 16th District of Illinois.
Thank you for your service. Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna play the prayers of Reb Nachman now. Might be kind of noisy, but these are the prayers. Oh, we could do the Shema. Let's do the Shema. Do you know the Shema? No?
Yes, I do.
This is the Yemenite version. This is the Sephardic version. Okay, this is a song called Poppy Rosin.
וזכינו כדי שתשרשי מסור עלינו ושחוקנו חוקנו בסוירו סכו וזכינו כדי שתשרשי מסור עלינו
My mom was diagnosed with severe dementia at 78. Today, at 82.
Are you answering questions?
Somebody there? Hello?
driving at night because of vision problems? Try this simple ice hack with water before bed and wash your...
Yo, guys, please, let's talk. Guys, please, let's talk. Would you mind turning that shit off? John, would you mind turning that shit off?
martune shalmo purim spuseinu. Luche yeru soy mirpuna. Yeru soy mirpuna huadri shemeloikeinu.
doing ASMR for this. What if we were? And what?
Ace Handyman Services might be the answer you're looking for. Finding someone to do work on your house can be frustrating. Ace Handyman Services was founded with one simple vision: to bring ethics and integrity to home improvement. It drives us in everything we do. Our multi-skilled craftsmen will listen to you and solve your project just as you expect. We're easy to schedule to get your work done. Give us a try. We might just be the home ally you've been looking for. You'll find our craftsmen to be humble, kind, skilled, and qualified to complete 1,162 different home improvement projects. We listen to you and seek to understand exactly what you want. Hey, we get that you're busy. We schedule an exact time on a day that works for you. Our craftsmen will call the night before to confirm your punch list. They text to confirm they're on the way. And when the work is done, we review your list to make sure that you are delighted. Just like Ace Hardware, we exist to help you. That's why we back our work with a 1-year guarantee. Know that we're not finished until you're delighted. Call us. Tell us what you need and when. Our team might just surprise you with solutions that exceed your expectations. If you like our hardware stores, you'll love us in your home. Give us a call. We think you'll like what you hear.
That's exactly why I'm having, you know, I'm not egotistical enough to think that I have one shred of hope of adding anything, but maybe this room is more for my psychological well-being than anything else, and you guys are just my counselors. But I feel like people who are good people and who, in most cases, have decent views, have been absolutely led astray by their addiction to Trump's version of reality. The Virginia Dufresne thing is a great example. Here's a woman who committed suicide, and nobody, because Donald Trump allowed Jeffrey Epstein to steal her from his employ. He didn't look after a young woman who went to work for him. And so she probably trusted him. I remember being a teen and going to work for someone, and I wasn't a young woman, but if one of my daughters went to work for someone, I would think that they were going to have some effort to look after her. But this was a young woman who had no family to look after her. And so we have these people who argue vehemently that we believe in family values, and yet they don't care that women and girls have been abused, and they're not willing to hold their leader accountable. I agree that my title here is inflammatory, and I have made some mistakes in being inflammatory with respect to some of the titles I put up, but I don't know what to do with my family who defend something so indefensible. That's the problem. So Andrew, I like your point, and I'm not a deep history of post World War II Germany, but my understanding is from the reports that I've heard that many Germans could not accept the reality of what Hitler had done. They wanted to deny the reality of it. And that's consistent. You know, there's another area where maybe is interesting. If you read the book about the Donner Party, they were unaware because of they've been boiled so badly in their terrible situation of how crazy it was to be cannibals. You look at as I say, the slavery situation. People become irrational, and you know, Elle and you make a good point that people are just putting their heads down and trying to survive. It's a fair point, but at what point do you say, wake up, people? This is, you know, maybe your survival matters, but maybe something else matters even more. I care about the children taken from you, the Ukrainians, because I have children, and I can't imagine my children or grandchildren being taken, and the president of the country that I live in, that I pay my taxes in, laughs it off. Now, people will argue he didn't laugh it off. Well, you know, how many things can you argue about that he didn't do this, he didn't do that?